Welcome back to TFR eSports Season 26. We are back once again for the F1 division. Here we are for round 5, the British Grand Prix, and it is myself, CJH, on comms once more, joined by a 4-time winner in the F1 division, otherwise known as Ewan. How are we, Ewan? Welcome back to the Combox. You were saying to me off air, this is the first time you've commentated on the F1 division, so you've won here before, a couple of seasons back, and here you are now in the commentary.
Yeah, exactly. First time commentating on this division. I've done my many races around in this division, but never commentating. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like from an outside point of view, and from a commentating point of view, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top and see how the racing is from an outside perspective.
Absolutely. Well, the racing is going to be absolutely flat out in the F1 division tonight, because it is indeed the top tier, and it will be Mo Solver going for the record tonight. He's trying to equal the most wins ever by a single driver in a row in TFR eSports. It's a 26 season record, that, of 4, which is nuts for some people to hear, but for some reason everyone always seems to get up to 4 but then can never do more. So Mo Silva is trying to join that list of drivers that are on 4, but the competition is incredibly high tonight, Ewan. We've got Seb Goncalves, who drove a brilliant race last week in Spain. Wasn't quite enough to win the race, but on the final lap, passing Imedy to get second place before picking up an unfortunate post-race penalty, dropping him off the podium. But Imedy is well and truly back in his Aston Martin. We also have Mick Kestrel, the other Ferrari, who can definitely put up a fight at the front. And also Lauda in the other McLaren can also definitely get in the mix. B29, a driver who's never won in the F1 division still. This could be the perfect place on home soil, Ewan, for him to get that first ever victory.
Yep, a lot of rapid drivers around here in TFR F1, so it's going to be really interesting to see who can come out on top. And it's Solver, like you said, on a win streak at the moment, 3 wins in a row, and currently leading the championship by 13 points from Seb Gonzalez. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what it can do as B29 goes top, beating his teammate Dino Pig by a tenth of a second on his banker lap. So that's a good lap so far from B29. But yeah, we'll probably see about 3 laps in this session for the drivers, for tyre wear is quite high around here, so you won't expect to see them fueled up for more than 1 lap on 1 run, but we'll expect to see them out for back into the box and then back out for another lap.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating race tonight, because we've very much had our split in the field so far this season of the top runners are clear of the rest. But as Seb Goncalves now pushes out that benchmark to a 25.6 in the Ferrari then, so a stunning lap from him. Imedy currently on a flyer here once more, as Mo Solver now goes quickest with a 25.3, 2 tenths clear of Seb Goncalves. Lauda third, half a second off. So B29, 8 tenths off the pace at the minute, has work to do. Let's see with Imedy what he can do. He must have had a moment on that first flying lap, which has put him 15 seconds off the pace. There's a few other drivers out on track. Mick Kestrel isn't out there at the minute, and the 2 Williams will not come out all session. They both have a qualifying ban tonight for an engine penalty, and so they will be not setting any times in this qualifying session. Imedy then has a few more corners to go for the remainder of this lap, and he is going to complete it. He's drained the battery. He's got a couple of corners to negotiate. Keeps it neat and tidy there. Gets it hooked in. The power down early. Where is Imedy going to go here? Hits the curb. Only third. 4 tenths off the pace at the minute, Ewan.
Yep, a hugely experienced driver up in P3. It's a decent lap for Imedy, but Mo Solver putting down a statement lap already in this qualifying session, almost 3 tenths quicker than than the rest. It's a great lap from Emo Solver, who is once again looking on form, carrying that momentum from the last 3 races. So it's going to be interesting to see if anyone could get even close to that lap from Emo Solver. You will expect the track to improve, but will they find enough lap time to challenge pole position from Memo Solver?
Absolutely. Tax Collector pops himself up into 11th place, 1.8 seconds off the pace there. We're joined by Kaiser actually in 17th there in the Haas, so he's filling in for Haas. We've got a lot of drivers filling in tonight. We've got AJ Curtis there with a puncher actually on the front left tyre, just jumping on board with him there. Something bizarre has happened then to him. He's got to be very, very careful with that puncher. He's not going to hit the wall. Oh my word, he's going to just miss it. And, well, drama then for him, filling in at RB, who are yet to score a point this entire season, and they'll be absolutely desperate. He needs to slow that car down, or else he will end up DNF in here. There's a bit of rallycross in there, and just about avoids the barrier, but I wonder how he has done that in this qualifying session. I don't know why he's going so quick, Ewan, because if he goes too quick here, then the car's just going to conk out because it'll shred the tyre.
Yeah, exactly. It will delaminate like it has now, and he's gone into the gravel. So, yeah, I don't know why. Maybe a bit of frustration to get back to the pits as soon as possible. Yeah, the tyre delaminates just like that, and it's almost impossible to turn at that point because the car is leaning. The car is leaning on its side, so it can't actually turn as well as it's limping back to the pits now. But yeah, it's very rare you see a puncture in qualifying. It might have run over some debris or something. That's my only reasonable hypothesis. But yeah, it's a tough start to the session for AJ Curtis and the RB with 0 points on the board so far. The VCAR team really need a driver to put in a good lap to give him the best chance possible to get some points.
Well, he's part of the Red Bull pool, but he is obviously an F3 driver normally, so he has got his work cut out. But even if he can get a point tonight, that is a massive achievement for that team so far this season, because the fact that they've got absolutely nothing is quite surprising after 4 rounds. Mick Castro then is starting his first flying lap. We'll see whether Ferrari Man can pop himself in this one. JP, or JVKP, as I've always for some reason called him, is currently in 5th place. Oh, look at the state of that. Oh, and Mint Kestrel there almost piled into the back of his teammate. My word. I mean, if that was any other car, then Mint Kestrel would have reported him there for impeding on a lap. But what on earth happened there? I did have a little look at the track map as he was starting a lap, and I did see there was a gaggle of cars there. But that, I mean, imagine that if the teammates collided there, Ewan.
Yeah, an absolute monstrosity of just traffic for the Ferrari with D and Lauda. So D, Lauda and Seb, all three right up there, all blocking Kestrel there. It was D and Lauda on the inside, getting out of the way, but it was Seb Gonzalez, his teammate, that got in the way ultimately. So yeah, there'll be stuff said on the team radio to each other maybe, but yeah, that will have to be looked at, and yeah, it compromises Mint Kestrel's run.
Yeah, that was bizarre. You don't normally see that with no disrespect to the other drivers, but from the top level drivers of the division, you don't normally see that, and particularly from Seb Goncalves, a driver with absolutely hunters, almost 18 seasons worth of experience. Yeah, you don't see that often. Mick Kestrel's going to go again here, so that's 2 drivers, just like Amadi, who's had to do a second run here. Big boy Joanne is out there as well for Sauber. He's about to set his first competitive time of the session, and Cater as well will be joining him. But we very much got our split in the field as we imagined. Although I say that, there isn't really. I mean, there's a bit of a split between 10th and 11th, I'd say, as Cater now pops himself into 12th. But apart from that, Ewan, this is actually quite competitive here. I mean, maybe the gap to pole is a little bit deceiving, but you kind of look from 3rd all the way to 10th. That's not a lot, in it?
Yeah, it's looking very competitive at the moment, and yeah, surprisingly so because, as you've said, the gap all season between around 9th and 10th has been very large. But yeah, it's Silverstone. It's a relatively short track, so gaps are a little bit smaller. But yeah, it's interesting as GVK gets up to P3. Solver improves on his time just about, and yeah, lengthens his pole position, lengthens the time to everyone else to beat.
Yeah, extends that advantage out front then to Seb Goncalves. And yeah, Jeff Capri then with a stunning lap in third, who's replaced by Mint Castro then on a worn set of boots, you'd have to say. And he now goes, and Seb Goncalves now sets the fastest time of this session with 6 minutes remaining. Where on earth did that come from? I forgot, obviously, he was on a flying lap after he impeded his teammates. But Seb Goncalves then is giving us a battle for pole here, Ewan, and Mo Solver has got his work cut out.
Yep, that came out of nowhere, and it's looking good for Ferrari. First and third at the moment. They're currently first in the constructors as well, so it's looking good for Ferrari. And yeah, that's a that's a demon lineup. Sam Gonzalez and Mink Kestrel. They're looking good, and even though they're blocking each other on track, they're doing and dealing the results in the lap time on the data.
Well, if I quickly check the polls from the previous rounds this season, Chris has took pole in every other round, bar the last one at the Spanish Grand Prix where Mo Solver did that. So bar Chris and Mo, we haven't had another driver on pole in the F1 division this season. Could that change tonight? Could Ferrari... They've managed to get their wins this season. They had the incredible 1-2 in the opening round in Australia. Could Ferrari finally now get that pole position tonight? This has been their best chance yet, with Seb Goncalves then really putting in a statement. He wasn't necessarily the favourite for this championship before the season, and only with one win to his name, and he is the only other driver other than Mo Solver to pick up a victory this season. He was just quietly going about his business, but if he can now compete with Mo on pure pace, the three-time champion will be definitely targeting a fourth title and remarkably would equal Amadi's total tally.
Yeah, it's a great lap from Seb, and like you said, it's looking good for the championship if it stays this way. But yeah, to put it into context, Seb improved his lap time from the first one to the second one by 3 tenths. Mo Solver improved his lap time by less than a tenth. So that is a huge difference in getting more out of the car on that second run. And yeah, it may suggest that Mo Solver may have a little bit more to play with. Maybe he used a used set of tyres on that run, but Seb improving by 3 tenths, showing that there was time in that first lap, and maybe there's even more time in this last lap, because when you get to the top level, there's more than just tenths. It's going to be hundredths between first and maybe third, right at the top level. So yeah, Seb still has time to find. Mo Solver, you'd think, still has time to find, and you've got to see what Mink Castro and D can do as well.
Yeah, it's a fascinating grid to look at the minute. We've got most of the cars all sat in the pit lane as they now start to pile out, actually, for the very last runs here. We have a bit of support for B29 from Hariberman in the chat there. But at the minute, B29, those Mercedes, considering that it's supposed to be a top running team in this F1 division, they're struggling. They're definitely in that midfield fight at the minute. And obviously, Dino Pig is reserve at the minute, as Mercedes don't have a second driver, so they're having to fill in with kind of reserves from other Mercedes teams, if you like. But at the minute, not great showing. Nifo, stunning lap from him. F2 man in 7th place right now. And the F2 drivers are once again putting on a show. Nifo in 7th. We've got Javier Capit in 5th. Yes, he is an F2 driver, and he's less than half a second off F1 pole here. I'm not quite sure about that is for sure. But as the drivers are all piling out the pits now, we are getting to the crunch point of this qualifying session. Let's see then. Can Mercedes improve up the order? Shout out to Leah, making her debut tonight in the Alpine in 10th place. and at the minute going along quite nicely, second off pole, but very much in that midfield battle. My Master has had an easy time of things in that midfield fight all season, and he's been flying the flag for Sauber, but I fear for him, his hands are full tonight. He has got a lot of work to do if he wants to be at the front of that one. So let's see what the order is. So we've got Seb Goncalves then onto the old start-finish rate. Mo Solver and Mint Castrol are coming through the final turns. So Mint Castrol will be the first to start his final flying lap here, Ewan, and he's got the most work to do here. So where can he find 4 attempts on a lap like this? It's not the easiest circuit to find time when you need to find it.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of high speed around this track, so it's hard. There's not much room for error. The low speed is where you may find the time, pinch the exit, and get back on to the power. Get the ERS, click the DRS on, and you've made your way past the first sector. Let's see what it is. It's a 10th up in Sector 1. It's a decent effort considering how small the Sector 1 is, as Mint Kestrel goes and attempts his way through Luffield, and it seems like a pretty neat lap so far, but let's see if it sticks for the rest of the lap.
Absolutely. So Mo Solver, I think there was quite a bit going on around him, not necessarily anyone getting in his way, but there's a lot of cars around him in that first sector. He's a 10th down in the first sector. He needs to find time in these final 2 sectors if he wants to take pole here and stop the Ferraris from ruining his party. Mint Kestrel's absolutely committed there, and that shows it. 2 tenths up, almost 3 tenths up in the middle sector. Mo Solver's coming through now. He's managed to claw back a bit of time. He's only 39 thousandths of a second off at the minute, but he has got an RB right in the way. Here comes Mint Kestrel then, coming through the final turns, and Mo Solver is indeed getting blocked behind. Mint Kestrel's coming up to the line. Oh, he's just missed out. He's a 10th off, but here comes Mo Solver. He got a bit of a toe off that RB. Can he snatch pole? No, he can't. It was a purple final sector, but he's missed out by 14 thousandths of a second. Amadis a 10th up in the first sector. Here comes Seb Goncalves to the end of the middle sector. He's also on the pace, Ewan. This is going to be incredibly tight here.
Yeah, he's looking good. Seb, he's defeated 1 of Mo Solver, he's defeated 2 of Mint Kestrel, and it's only him and maybe I'm a D who could spoil the party. First Seb Gonzalez at the moment, he's coming through club, nice, neat and tidy. Just 1 corner to go. Here he comes, and he does not improve. It's only up to D now. He's 2 temps up, so he's going to be in the mix. He needs to find a little bit more. As Leah in the Alpine goes up to P2. What a lap! 3 thousandths off pole position.
Stunning, absolutely stunning. Where on earth did that lap come from? It's not going to be Mo tonight. It's not going to be Chris on pole, but who will it be? Amadi has got the final corner to negotiate. Is he going to take pole? No, he's not. He's still 5th. Incredible stuff then. We're not seeing anyone improve. Nifo with a stunning lap then. The F2 driver is ahead of B29. Up into 6th place. Incredible stuff. Jamie Capiz retired. He's done. And I think that is your lot. So what an end to qualifying though. Seb Goncalves is back on pole position after a long old time away from that top spot. Leah though, with a stunning lap at the end of the session there for Alpine, who have been far away from a podium or a race win or a pole position in the F1 division. But we'll start on the front row then, on debut. That is fantastic, Ewan.
Yeah, that is incredible. What a lap from Leah. Pretty much nowhere for she was in the midfield for most of that qualifying session, but getting that lap in at the end, it's a great lap, and putting her right in the mix with the front runners, with the big boys, and yeah, it's a great lap, but it's Seb Gonzalez on pole position.
Well, we have a serious battle in this race then. Look how close that is. The top 3 for crying out loud are 18 thousandths of a second in it. With a tenth separating the top 4, with 2 of the 2 Ferraris being a sandwich of Leah and Mo Solver in 2nd and 3rd. But the Japanese driver in the Alpine there really just throwing the cat amongst the pigeons. And I know the American listeners will not understand what that reference means, but it's absolute. Came out of nowhere there, that lap. Nifo, though, another star performer in 6th place for Haas. I mean, what a lap. B29, hang your head in shame.
Yeah, it's a great lap from Nifo, F2 driver, cooking an F1 driver. It's good to see. And Haas down in eighth, with Nifo getting a sixth place. It's going to help them in the constructors' battle. They got no points in Spain, but this is a good first start, to get them good points in this race.
Well, this could be quite the race in store. We're expecting, just if we didn't need it, we're expecting rain late on in this one. The first time in about 7 months we've had any sort of rain in an actual main F1 division race. So this has all the ingredients to be a fantastic race in store here. It's Seb Goncalves on pole with Leah on her debut alongside on the front row. And, well, that is going to be one to keep an eye on. We have no idea where that lap came from. Second off the pace and found a second on the final lap. It's just incredible to see. And Mo Solver, for the first time, not on the front row this season, has work to do to get that fourth straight victory. Don't go anywhere, because the start of this race is going to be thrilling. And let us know in the chat what your predictions are. Here we go then. We're going to find out what's going to happen here for the British Grand Prix. And we are underway. Seb Goncalves then gets us going, and he's got a pretty good start. He's ahead of the Alpine, but Leah has got the inside line on those medium tires, trying to take the lead there. We've got a Sauber off at the very back. That's My Master off at the very back. A disastrous start for him. And there goes the move then from Mo Solver, already chucking it up the inside on the Alpine, but Seb Goncalves is clear. Leah just about hanging on with Mint Kestrel right on the tail of Mo Solver as well. It's a frantic start here, Ewan, as we would expect.
Yep, Leah challenging for the win, but it left her compromised to Mo Solver, your championship leader. But Leah holds on to P2. It's still looking good, but Mo Solver looking extremely quick as Dino Pig and B29 go side by side, and it's all funneling down at the back. But yeah, that's a action-packed start, and Leah holds on to P2 crucially.
And look at that, Nifo. I say it again, the F2 driver starting on the soft tyres, and there goes Mo Solver going into Maggots and Beckett's there, makes the move on Leah. An unorthodox place to make the overtake, but I tell you now, you wouldn't rule out something like that from Mo Solver. He moves up then, up into second place, but Nifo, for crying out loud, has just overtook the four-time champion Ahmadi on the opening lap here, the F2 driver. What is going on in this British GP here? The two Mercedes going at it again then, down the order. That's B29 then, back up into 10th place. Once again in the midfield scrap tonight, but it's all fairly clean so far, Ewan, apart from My Master, who was facing the wrong way at the first corner.
Yeah, exactly. It's a terrible start for My Master, and for Sauber down in 16th and 18th. It's not looking good for the team, as Lauda looking pretty close to Task Collector, only a tenth behind and going down the inside into Village, and it's still going to be side by side into turn 4. And it's close, they stick into each other. Lauda gets pushed on the grass and he spun around.
Oh my word, how on earth that wasn't a massive shunt there with cars coming across. It was just lucky for him there, Ewan, that there was a gap in the track for him to return to.
Yeah, exactly. That looked pretty hard racing. He got pushed onto the grass there, and yeah, he had grass on his tyres and he eventually spun round. So yeah, really not ideal for him, as Leah in third, still looking strong, getting overtaken by Mo Solver, who, yeah, showing why he's the championship leader. It's a great move into Maggots and Beckett's, and he's looking racy for P1.
Absolutely. It's frantic at the start of this one. So B29 then up into 8th place, but getting dropped by JVKP as that front group are pulling clear, and here comes Mo Solver up to the inside on Seb Goncalves. They're going at it already here, and Mo Solver had the inside line and covers him off. Statement move there. He started in third, and by the end of lap 2 he already leads this race. He is on a march here, going for that fourth straight victory, and that is how you start a race, Ewan. He has picked them off one by one there.
Yep, he's made a statement once again, as Mint Kestrel's looking close to Leah, and Mint Kestrel's going down the inside at Village. Will he make the move? Leah keeps on the inside, they're still going to be side by side down into turn 5. Like we saw an instant earlier in F3, and it's still side by side. Mint Kestrel making the move on the outside, but Leah still on the inside here, and she's kept her foot in,
Hangs
and
in.
she's keeping the move. Mint Kestrel on the inside now at Luffield, and it's still side by side.
Yeah, Mint Kestrel is just hanging this on. A great shot with a helicam on my screen here. And oh, they touched stars again there. Going down the old start finish straight, but Leah hangs on to that P3. And Mint Kestrel does go a bit wide, but holding off the Ferrari there and maintaining that third place position. But Mint Kestrel looks to have the pace. So too does Seb Goncalves. He's managed to keep the DRS to Mo Solver here. And at the minute, the top 7 are still absolutely nose to tail. Nifo, though, is coming under a bit of threat from OMD. The 4-time champion there, almost thinking about making that move into that next corner. But I know he's on the hard tyres, Ewan, but I still can't believe that he's been overtaken by an F2 driver at the start of this one. He's surrounded by F2 drivers at the minute.
Yeah, exactly. Nifo looking extremely good in this race, but it's important to note he is on the soft, so it's no surprise that he got those tyres ramped up very quickly in this race. While the hards take a few laps to heat up, because the hards are very hard, and that makes it very hard to make them heat up here in Silverstone. But yeah, it's a great start from Nifo, but he's dropping back a little bit now as the tyres degrade, as B29 and GVK have a little move, as I think GVK is lagging a little bit in this race, so that's going to be an interesting dynamic in the midfield.
Yes, that Toronto Wi-Fi is not providing the goods tonight for David Kippy. There's a bit of issues for him there, but he's managed to continue on and has now managed to close back up to RMT here, remarkably. We have got a bit of DRS train at the minute, but like I say, the fascinating thing with this race is it's all going to kick off later on. When will the rain arrive later? It's fully overcast conditions at the minute, but these guys on these tyres, the guys on the hard tyres, Ewan, they'll be trying to hang it out all the way to the checker flag, I'd imagine. They'll be trying to hang it out for when that rain comes along. And we've got a move there in the background. That's Omidi then on Nifo. Easy pass on the Haas driver. Those soft tires probably already suffering a little bit. We had Lauda, surprisingly, having an off at the very back. He now is down into 17th place. So Lauda, who's been going along nicely so far this season, really struggling at the back there. And we've got our first driver to dive in the pits. I think that's Kaiser into the pit lane, Ewan.
Yeah, and like you said, the people on the hards may try and stick it out until the wets, because the weather forecast is saying that it's going to be full wets at the end. So that implies that the wet weather might come a little bit quicker than expected. So that might mean that the hards will be able to hold out until the rain. But yeah, the hards are going to be really struggling as GVK goes around the outside into P6, as Nifo is just going backwards now on those softs, losing degradation, losing grip, and yeah, it's not looking good for him. He's going to have to pew into the box pretty soon.
Yeah, GVK, they're going up into 6th place spot. Amity is getting slightly distance from the top 4 on those hard tyres after having to negotiate his way past Nifo. He might have just managed to dip back into the DRS now. He'll be one to keep an eye on. Anyone on mediums and softs will have to pit before the rain. You can be absolutely sure of it, and I'll be happily proven wrong. As Leah then is getting incredibly close to Seb Goncalves then, with a DRS down the hanger straight there, and just unable to make the move as B29 now moves up into 7th place. But that is starting to get very close. There's been contact. Mint Kestrel and Leah there making contact then at the penultimate corner. What on earth happened there? I'm not quite sure. Amity, though, makes contact as well. He's almost round as well. So chaos there in that battle for third. Ewan, did you manage to catch what happened there?
I didn't quite catch it, but I think Leah went for the inside, got squeezed onto the curb, and yeah, that harmed her. So down, getting the move done, but 2 seconds away from the front pack now, and that gives a lone train of Seb Gonzalez and Emre Solver now. So yeah, that incident makes this into a train as Mint Kestrel maybe has an issue or something. He's just let D go for some reason. He's looking a little bit slow at the moment. So D up to 4th, and on the hards he's looking pretty good at the moment.
That's surprising to see. I didn't expect that from Mint Kestrel. He's obviously let him pass because something's gone on there, I think. And he's done it in a respectful way, and then also to avoid any kind of penalty. But I don't see what it would have been. I mean, it looked more like Armadi went into the back of him, instead of Mint Kestrel blocking the way there. But Armadi then is up into fourth and will be the next driver to challenge Leah for that third place spot. But those cars now are a distant 2.2 seconds off the top two. That's released Mo Solver and Seb Goncalves then. And for Seb Goncalves here, Ewan, he knows he's got a clear target now. He doesn't have to worry about defending behind. He just has to focus on Mo Solver at this point of the race.
Yeah, exactly. Your top two in the championship are 1 and 2 and in DRS range of each other in this race. So yeah, that's your front race for you. It's going to be very interesting between those two drivers fighting for a championship, and it could go either way. It could end up with Seb winning this race and getting within 6 points of Mo Solver, or Mo Solver could extend his lead and get up to 20 points. So this is huge for the championship, and it could be pretty deciding. It's a 14-point swing between these two drivers, so it's all to play for here.
Yeah, it's going to be intriguing how they play this one out, because again, they have to think of the long game here, because there's still plenty of time left in this race. B289 is recovering very nicely here, actually, in 7th place. He's managed to get to the back of the pack behind Leah, and he's bringing himself into the mix again on those hard tyres. The medium tyres will start to be going off a little bit by this point of the race, and the hard tyres will be gaining back a bit of pace. Armadi with the DRS then gaining on Leah, not quite close enough down that particular straight, and there is a move further back. Phantom Fox, who had a qualifying ban with that engine penalty, up into P8 on the hard tyres, Ewan. What a great drive from him so far.
Yeah, a decent start for Williams, who both had qualifying bans up both into the top 10, both opting for the hard compound tyres to start this race. And yeah, that could prove to be a great decision, a great strategic decision from the Williams guys, as yeah, the hards are looking good. But will they last until the rain? And I think that's going to be crucial, as D sends it down the inside at Club, and he's going to make the move. He went for a surprise move, and they're going to be side by side. D has the DRS, so it looks like he's going to make the move, and he does. That's a great move from D. He goes for a little surprise move, putting Leah offline, and that's slam dunk. That's a move.
Yeah, and they're not mucking around at the start of this one. Leah might be on her debut, but there is no quarter given at the start of this race. They are trying all sorts of different places on the circuit to make the pass, and Armadi has got that job done this time around. However, will be vulnerable down the hanger straight because he's not managed to break that DRS to the Alpine, and Leah will be coming back. She's gone very wide there though, just going over the white line, and the DRS then back open on the Alpine, but will not be close enough to get back at the Aston Martin. You can't afford to do that too many times. We saw that in the F3 division, Ewan, and we've already seen it a bit in this race so far, as Mint Kestrel then dives in the pits. Now that is a bit of a statement from him, making that undercut, Ewan. We saw in F3, that was incredibly powerful, and it's Mint Kestrel who's the first driver to pull the trigger here of the front runners.
Yeah, exactly, and this could be a good strategy for Ferrari, because look, the rain is coming soon, and going onto the hards, that might mean the undercut could be pretty powerful, and the overcut could get cancelled by the rain, because you're not going to have as many laps to make up the advantage with the overcut, with the tyre offset. So going onto these hard tyres, it could be a power play, because yeah, he's going to have fresher tyres than everyone around him. And when everyone boxes, they're not going to have as many laps because the rain is inbound.
Well, hang on a minute. Look at this from Nifo. 1.6 seconds clear of Mint Kestrel, pitting 3 laps earlier on those hard tyres after starting on the soft tyres. At the minute, Nifo is net P3, I think. It'll be very close, but at the pace Nifo has got right now... Oh, we've got a yellow flag. There's a car off. It is... Who's that? Someone's gone off. And is that just a lap car? I don't know. It might be.
Yeah.
It's AJ Curtis. False alarm. False alarm. Oh, we have got a car off, though, this time. It's JV Capri. Is it not?
Oh.
It is.
Yes.
We have got a car off this time around. JV Capri has been spun around then onto the hangar straight. And after such a great start to this race, in trouble there, and doesn't end up coming in the pits, so there's no damage on the car, but something has gone on there, Ewan. I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, I think it looked pretty close between B29 and GVK, so that could have been an incident. It looked like GVK had some barrier or some kind of tech pro on his front wing, so he's had an adventure, and yeah, that's going to be pretty costly for his race as Leah responds to Mint Kestrel here, as Mint Kestrel already right on the back of Nifo, so Mint Kestrel proving his pace and Nifo proving that the tyres are just running out a little bit at this moment as Leah comes back out in 13th, 2 seconds behind Mint Kestrel, and Leah has to push her.
There goes Mint Kestrel then up the inside on Nifo, trying to do a bit of an IMD there. We'll have the DRS then, though, down this Wellington straight, and we'll get the overtake done on the Haas. Nifo's going to chuck it up the inside. That is ambitious, and he is. He's going for it. They're going to touch tyres, but that would have been quite sensational from the F2 Greek driver if he managed to just catch the experienced multiple winner Mint Kestrel napping there, but he has to settle for 12th. The undercuts work for Nifo. He's very much brought himself back into those front runners, but as seen by Mint Kestrel there, that Ferrari man has just got that extra bit of pace to burn.
Yeah, and I respect it from Nifo. He's obviously fighting Mint Kestrel because it's for position, and as he should. It might affect his race a little bit, but I see no harm in fighting as all the front runners come in except D on the hards.
And I tell you, not to interrupt you there, but Seb Goncalves held in the pits by B29 there. So there's a bit of a gap between Mo Solver and Seb Goncalves as Tax Collector retires in the pit lane. And look at this, Mint Kestrel coming through the first turn. It's going to be oh so close with Mo Solver here. There is Mint Kestrel. He's right behind him. Overtakes his teammate. Nifo, for crying out loud, is ahead now of Seb Goncalves. Incredible. That undercut has worked wonders for that Haas driver. And Seb Goncalves now has got a lot of work to do. Mint Kestrel then now is going to be the one attacking Mo Solver. There goes Seb Goncalves. He had to get that move done, didn't he, Ewan? I mean, if he got stuck behind Nifo, with no disrespect to him, that would have ruined his race there.
Yeah, that was absolutely crucial. Nifo's shown that his pace isn't up to the pace of the front runners, so yeah, that was a crucial move for Seb on the new tyres. Maybe Colin, that was close from Leah going for the move on Nifo. A little bit of moving off the track goes Leah as Nifo fighting for his life, but it seems like these guys, just like Leah and just like Seb, are pushing their way through, showing a bit of desperation because they need to be in this front pack.
It's a baptism of fire for some of these drivers tonight. They are well and truly in these feisty battles. Mo Solver makes a key move there on My Master, and Mint Kestrel will also have to get his elbows out and get the move done. He does. Gets late on the brakes and passes My Master, who's obviously carrying on those hard tyres. Imadi does pit then. He's not hanging it out, so he will come out the pits, and I think he is going to lose out horrifically here, Ewan, because he extended on those tyres, and he's gone for another set of hard tyres. So he is thinking it's going to rain hard enough later that I don't have to worry about a second dry set of tyres.
Yeah, that could be interesting, and yeah, I can't exaggerate how crucial it is to make these moves on this traffic, like Big Boy Ewan and My Master, for these front runners, because get stuck behind for a sector and you could lose 1-2 seconds, and that could be you out the train. That could be you out the train for the win. So it's absolutely critical for these people to get past as soon as possible, but don't lose yourself too much time. His Solver still behind Ewan. He's just waiting for the DRS, it seems, as is close into Maggots and Beckett's. Mo Solver makes the move he couldn't stay behind for any longer, and he is passed as Mint Kestrel right back in this now with Ewan really holding up everyone else.
Absolutely. but it has released Mo Silva a little bit here. He has got a bit of a gap. Educators gets a 10-second time penalty. He's actually a couple laps down now, sadly for him. It looks like the run of no points is going to continue on for RB. There's a move from B29 on Nifo. Gets his elbows out, and Nifo, can't get it slowed down. He's round. And he gets the car going again, and he's going to lose the position to the Mercedes. But, dearie me, keep your head. You've had a great race so far. Do not throw it away. But sadly, he's gone from being ahead of Seb Goncalves a few laps ago, Ewan, to now. I mean, he is miles down the order.
Yeah, it's gone from bad to worse. It seems the strategy was really not the play, going from soft to hard compound tyres. It's just too early for him, it seems, as Leah gets past Ewan. That's pretty efficient on DRS, so Leah won't lose too much time to the traffic. But yeah, that's unfortunate for Nifo, looking so promising in that first stint and in qualifying. But yeah, it's come to no avail after an incident here.
So a swap there as well between the two Ferraris. We've seen that multiple times so far this season, but Seb Goncalves getting allowed past by Mint Castrol, and interesting bit of play there. They're both quite close in the championship, so I am surprised how much they do that. But Seb Goncalves is released, and it's 2 seconds. 2 seconds is the gap that he's got to hunt down after Mo Silva here for the net lead. Phantom Fox still leads this race, hanging it out there on those hard tyres. He is losing a lot of time to the cars behind. But I tell you right now, Ewan, if it rained in a lap or two's time, he has done this race perfectly.
Yeah, it's a Hail Mary strategy for Phantom Fox.
It's all in.
But yeah, it's worth a try. He's got nothing to lose, so yeah, it's a interesting strategy for the Williams man, and yeah, he'll probably hop onto a medium tyre to round off the clean dry stint of this race. So yeah, gonna be interesting to see how long Phantom Fox holds on to that lead and holds on to those tyres, because it's looking pretty cloudy here. The rain is coming, but how soon will it come?
Yeah, things could change very suddenly in this one. So Phantom Fox at the minute, until he is caught, he is leading this race and can very much still play a factor in this one. Seb Goncalves on this time around has managed to take a 10th out of Mo Silva. He might have enough to close back up, but he needs to be taking more time out of him, Ewan, doesn't he? Because at the minute, Mo Silva is matching his pace as it stands.
Yeah, and this could be crucial. Mo Silva could get stuck behind Phantom Fox, and Phantom Fox, look, he isn't going too badly at the moment. He's not going too slowly. He's not being catched as rapidly as the likes of Ewan and MindMaster were, as Ewan peels into the pits. But yeah, Mo Silva catching Phantom Fox, but not to the extent that we've seen before. So will he get stuck behind Phantom Fox, and will that allow Seb Gonzalez to get a bit of a lifeline and get back in the DRS?
Well, this is the thing. Mo Silva here is doing all he needs to do at this stage of the race, and the key thing was the pit stops. That delay of B29 just coming down the pit lane to be in the way of Seb Goncalves has managed to release Mo Silva here, but this is long from being over. There is still plenty of laps to decide this one. Mo Silva then is going to pick off Phantom Fox as easy as you like there, going into Maggots and Beckett's, and might have even picked up the DRS. Don't think he would have. Let's see. No, he didn't. So Phantom Fox does have something to take away from that one. But Phantom Fox is still doing pretty damn well here. As long as he can keep them tyres alive, he could still be in a decent position come the end of this race. Big Boy Joanna getting a penalty there. He's on the mid. So Phantom Fox coming in though. No. The rain must not be anytime soon, because he's coming in, and those hard tyres must have been incredibly worn, Ewan.
Yep, and Mo Silva absolutely loves that moves into Maggots and Beckett's. He is in no mood in this race to Hold on,
not
what's going
to,
on?
yeah, we've got two punchers. We've got two punchers. That's why Phantom Fox has come in the pits, because my master has a puncher on the front left tire. He's going to hit the wall. Oh, he's got a 10-second time penalty. How on earth that car didn't DNF there? I mean, I don't know if he realised that the pit lane was to the right, not the left there. He just seemed to steer into the barrier. But he's got into the pits and will get the tyre change. But that just tells you that a lot of the cars were on the limit there, because there is AJ Curtis. He already had a puncher in qualifying. There he is with a puncher now and has to limp home to the pit lane. Let's have a look. Anyone else on old hard tyres? Nifo's on 10 lap old, so he could also not be too far off that kind of danger zone with those hard tyres. This is the other element here, Ewan, is if the rain doesn't come soon, well, all these guys on hard tyres will be in that kind of position at the very end of the race if the rain doesn't come.
Yep, and that was what I was thinking. The hards could maybe not last, as here comes Leah round the outside of Mint Kestrel. That is a beautiful move up onto the podium on debut. What a great move, as Mint Kestrel seems to really be struggling. Mint Kestrel almost goes back down the inside. They've already had an incident in this race at Club, and it almost happened again there. But yeah, Leah up to P3, up onto the podium. It's a good race from her so far. She had that little incident, but she's recovered well.
Absolutely. So Leah then coming right back into play here. Meanwhile, further up, Seb Goncalves hasn't got the pace to match Mo Silva at the minute. That gap has gone up about 6 tenths as it stands, and Seb Goncalves has no answer. So Nifo then really is in a spot of bother then, down in 9th. Those hard tyres are a lap or two away from what those guys were having punchers on. I'm amazed that they were having punchers on like 12 lap old hards. I didn't think that would really be a thing in this race, Ewan, but it clearly seems to be the case that they aren't that durable.
Yeah, and if it is, the likes of Mint Kestrel, Leah, and Dino Pig in the top 7 may struggle to get it to the rain, with those guys having the oldest tyres of the top 7. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Or it might have just been the fact of Ewan and my master's tyre wear just being pretty bad. We're just fighting, and yeah, they were getting overtaken left and right, and they were probably pushing to try and keep with the front runners, but that was pretty unrealistic and not ideal for them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the tyre wear for the front runners is going to be much better. So I wouldn't expect any punctures in the front here. But look, anything can happen at Silverstone. We've seen punctures in real life in the past in 2020. So yeah, let's wait and see.
It's going to be interesting. There's multiple drivers that will be right on the limit here, and they kind of need the rain sooner rather than later. Seb Goncalves is a much better lap. He's managed to take a few attempts out of Mo Silva this time around. We're on lap 18 of 26, and the more we go on into this one, the more we wait for when will this heavy rain arrive. I will remind you again, it is heavy rain. It's not even just a little drizzle. It will absolutely be a downpour once it gets here. And it's throwing an almighty element into this race where drivers are having to hang out on tyres, and they are right on the limit. So Nifo then is onto his 12th lap on those hard tyres. So if we see him come in the pits in the next lap or two, that gives us another idea, Ewan, of how long those hard tyres can last. I'm looking at the likes of Mint Kestrel on 9-lap-old hard tyres. Some of them drivers, I mean, if their radio message is saying rain's 10 minutes away, they're in big trouble here.
Yeah, I agree, and I feel like D has got the right strategy here with showing his championship experience. Going from hards to hards again, he's got the best tyres in the top 5, and he's looking pretty close to Mint Kestrel at the moment. He goes for a little fake move on Mint Kestrel, but I think D's looking pretty good in this race. He's got 3-lap fresher tyres in Mint Kestrel, 2-lap fresher tyres for Leah, and going from hards to hards, it's risky if the rain doesn't come, but he's using his 2 best tyres in this race for the segment of this race. So I think it was a no-brainer for D. Really, he started near the midfield, but he's using his tyres well, and he's just stuck in this train a little bit. It's hard to overtake at Silverstone when you're in a train like this, but you've got to think as this goes on, D will have a better and better chance to make the move and get onto this podium.
Absolutely. Nifa there then getting picked up by Phantom Fox, and I was looking at his onboard there. The tyres look awful. They look absolutely awful, and he's sliding around the place as well. So I think he's not far off the absolute limit. They're all hanging it out here, but the rain is not here yet. Nifa as well now gets a time penalty, but we're about to start lap 20 of this one. It's become a bit of a race of attrition here, where it's who can hang on the longest here. And like you say, Amadi suddenly now is looking quite comfortable with how much life he has in those tyres. He could be one to keep a watch of in these final remaining laps. Leah starting to close back up to Seb Concalves up there, and there goes Amadi up the inside. An opportunistic move once more then, and trying to make that pass on Mint Kestrel. He'll have the DRS. They'll both have the DRS then down the Wellington straight here, and Amadi does indeed take P4 then off Mint Kestrel. It's not been the greatest of stints for Mint Kestrel, but you have to say he's got the oldest hard tyres, and when you go on board with him, you can see it on those front tyres there. They look awful.
Yeah, exactly. He's really struggling. He went for the undercut, hoping for the rain to come sooner than it is. And yeah, he's seeing the damage with those tyres being on for so long. It's Silverstone, it's a high degradation track. And yeah, he's really struggling now. And D is reaping the rewards of staying out for so long on his hard combat tyres.
D might just have a very late charge here. Definitely at least the podium. It could be more, depending on how bad the tyres of the others get in this one. I will just say, Nifo did come in the pits on the last lap. So he gave up on those hard tyres. He gave up on waiting for them. He's gone for a set of soft tyres. So the rain must be very close, but he had to pit you and he couldn't carry on any further.
Yeah, exactly, and that is information for the top guys of how long those hards can go, and it's got to be said, Mint Kestrel and Leah, it's got to be, might be quite close, as Seb Gonzalez is also struggling in the Ferrari, and
he has a problem.
Leah is right on the back here. Seb Gonzalez might have a puncture.
And it is raining. It's raining. It started raining. It's all kicking off now. Leah then is right on the tail. Seb Gonçalves weaving around there. And there must be something wrong. I mean, that's incredibly aggressive weaving. You've got to be careful. He didn't get a penalty for that. AJ Curtis, for crying out loud, has put the wet tyres on down at the back. There's also Lauda in the pit lane. If I see a set of intermediates going on, hang it out just a bit longer. He has. He's gone for those intermediates. Seb Gonçalves is weaving then again there. I mean, yeah, he's got to play that so careful. He's going to get a penalty. That's incredibly close between the pair of them. Leah then has got the inside line. Very close just there. Mo Solver is getting away with this one here and down the road, but the rain is pouring. And when will they come into the pits? Mo Solver is in that kind of terrible position where how much do you risk here? Leah then is going to the outside and Seb Gonçalves. Seb defends it hard then to the inside. Mo Solver continues on. Seb Gonçalves is in. They're all in. So Mo Solver's hanging this out. And this is the gamble here, Ewan. As Seb gets a 10-second time penalty.
Yeah, that is terrible for Seb and Eva tyres. He's lost his head and he is out of this race. He's got the 10 seconds and that is race over for Seb. It's devastating and this could be bad for Mo Solver. And at this point, it's Leah who is provisionally P2. And yeah, it's full wet conditions, so a track will no doubt get wet and very soon, and yeah, this could be huge for the likes of Leah, the likes of D, and the likes of Mint Kestrel. It's going to be interesting, all on the same tyres as Leah and Mint Kestrel get very close, or someone gets very close in the outside the box, and it's D looking pretty close to Leah.
So Mint Kestrel getting held in the pits has lost 4 seconds then now to Leah and Armady. Seb Gonçalves absolutely furious and is really giving up in this one, and could he be giving up on his championship? He's going to take a massive hit. This could be a huge race in the battle for the championship. There's a Red Bull getting lapped there, but Ahmed D could still be on for the race victory because Mo Solver is out there in the lead and he is struggling like you wouldn't believe, Ewan. I mean, this is what I was saying about the leader, is in a terrible position, and Mo Solver, he was leading this race by a distance. Can he get it slowed down? Just about, but he's got to absolutely pray that this is the quickest pit stop ever by his McLaren crew.
Yeah, he was 3 seconds down on the sector 2, which just clearly shows that he's really struggling. And so 3 seconds down, that's going to be close. It's a slow pit stop as well. It's a little bit slow. And yeah, this could be pretty close on the pit exit. With Leah, I'm sure Mo Silva will still come out in the lead, but it's going to be closer than we would expect.
Well, this is the thing, as he crawls down the pit lane, the thing is, was it intermediates yet? Were the intermediates quite ready yet? Because Mo Solver's going to exit the pit lane, and he is going to hang on here to this race lead. He comes out the pits. Phantom Fox, for crying out loud, is still out there on a set of medium tyres. So he's now up into second place, but surely will not last there for long. I tell you, Mo Solver has very much just, I think, timed that to perfection, Ewan, because maybe those inters weren't quite up to full speed yet, and he's got away with one there.
Yeah, it seems like maybe they jumped the gun there with pitting for inters, but I don't blame them because it's full wet conditions, and so the track's going to get wet pretty quickly. But yeah, it looks like Mo Solver survived on those mediums and survived to extend his gap, so he's really proving a pace here as D looking pretty close to Leah. And yeah, that was pretty dramatic into the blocks with Seb retiring and calling it quits on this race, and almost calling it quits on the championship.
Yeah, I'd have to say that if Mo Solver wins this race, that is going to be a massive, massive hit to Seb Goncalves' championship, and even Mint Castrol here. I mean, he move up to fourth once they clear Phantom Fox, but it is going to be massively costly for him. But Mo Solver then, at the minute, is looking comfortable out front. Phantom Fox is hanging this out. He doesn't come in the pits. I mean, fair play. I admire the bravery, but surely that is a wild gamble to keep going with this one. AJ Curtis has actually retired. Ahmed D could sense an opportunity here because Phantom Fox managed to hold up Leah, but Leah does indeed stay there. But there is Ahmed D going to the outside. He might just get the pair of them. He is. He's up the inside of the pair of them, and he's got them both. What an unbelievable overtake from Ahmed D there. And he's still wheel to wheel with the Alpine, forces Leah wide, and will take P2. I don't know if there was a mistake there, and there must have been. They've still got the DRS open, for crying out loud. That just shows how much of a crossover this is. But what an incredibly opportunistic overtake from Ahmed D, the four-time champion there, Ewan, showing why he's got the four.
Exactly. What a move from Ahmed D, and he just used the weakness of Phantom Fox holding up Leo a little bit, and he used the chance to delight, and it's beautiful from Ahmed D. And yeah, DRS disabled at the perfect time as well, and it's going to be extremely hard for Leah to even attempt to make a move now, because without DRS in the rain, it's much harder to make moves. Already not much grip on this track in dirty air, adding onto the rain, it makes it extremely tricky. And D, you've got to say, a great race from him, coming from the midfield up to P2.
What a recovery from Ahmed D. And we're going to start the penultimate lap here, and he's just going to have to try and hang on from Leah, who has put a stellar drive on her debut in the Alpine to, at the minute, hang on for a podium. But the defence of P2 is over, and Ahmed D will look to just hang on to that one now. The gap is too big to Mo Solver. As long as he keeps it on the tarmac, he will be winning this race tonight, as Lauda now moves up into the top 10. Big Boy Joanne for a moment now was in the top 10, and it's Nifo actually who's on the soft tyres, who's causing a bit of chaos. Big Boy Joanne's going to hang it around the outside, and he will move back in the top 10. Could this be some big points finally tonight for Big Boy Joanne, who was last in qualifying and has struggled all season? This could finally be the kind of break he needed where he could get some decent points on the board and beat his teammate. My master, who's been head of the midfield all season, could be getting beaten by his teammate tonight. Elsewhere, Phantom Fox is still hanging on in 6th place. He is still, yes, on those medium tires at the minute, but has he got a puncture? The car looked like it was sinking there. It still looks like all tires are inflated. He's hanging on here, Ewan, but he's got Javier P hunting him down. He's got about a lap and a half to survive here.
Yeah, he's just dealing with the track conditions at the moment, and he's got a lap and a bit to go. He's on slick tires in the wets. It's absolute. It's like Turkey 2020 in real life. He's just having to survive, and yeah, if he holds onto this P6, it's an incredible drive. But yeah, it looks like GVK and Dino are closing in rapidly, with the rain falling down rapidly as well. So yeah, let's see what Phantom Fox can do on this last lap. Can he hold on? But it looks like he's still going to get points in this race, so it's still a decent job from the Williams man. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. He's still squirming about, and here comes GVK right in the back of him now.
He's struggling badly, and he may just have to settle for probably P8 in this one, as Jacob P is going to get that move done, and I imagine Dino will be next. It's then 18 seconds to Lauda further back. He should be safe from the McLaren man, as Code Mac now moves up into 11th place, but Big Boy Joanne is seemingly safe here for a top 10 finish. So fair play to him. What a great drive for him to get that. But meanwhile, out front on the final lap here, it's been a crazy race. And there's been changes throughout, but there's going to be no change in the race winner. Mo Solver here has only a few corners to go before he equals this long-standing 26-season record of 4 race victories. It wasn't all going his way tonight, and he had to work for it. But Mo Solver, as he negotiates the final few corners here, is going to win the British Grand Prix, and he makes it a record-equaling 4 victories in a row. Your reigning champion then wins once again, and next up in Austria, he'll be trying to break that record outright. Imadi then gets 2nd place ahead of Leah, who drove brilliantly in 3rd. Imadi as well, a fantastic drive in 2nd. All 3 of the podium drivers drove brilliantly tonight. Mint Castrol is in 4th. Damage limitations for him. A top 5 finish for B29. He can be pleased with that. The F2 driver, Javier Kapi, gets a P6 finish for Red Bull as he spins across the line. And Dino there in 7th will complete the top 7. And Phantom Fox is going to hang on here, Ewan, to that P8 finish.
Yep, phenomenal race especially from Mo Solver, getting that 4th win in 4. It's once again control, once again domination for the McLaren driver. 9 seconds to the next car, and yeah, he just he kept a cool head. He did what he needed to do, and yeah, he takes the race win here in Silverstone and extends his lead in the championship. That is a job well done for the McLaren man, and a shout out to Imadi, a great job from him. A shout out to Leah on debut, a great race. A shout out to B29, who was looking pretty much nowhere in this race. He was down in 8th and 9th, but he's got up to P5. It's a decent job from the Mercedes man, with Dino Pig, the other Mercedes, in P7 as well. Phantom Fox, of course, also holding on those mediums. He did 2 bold strategies in that race, and yeah, I can defend that, because look, he was not really anywhere in this race. So going for those 2 bold strategies is racy from him, and it's good to see.
Yeah, Imadi perfected that strategy tonight. It was clear to see you couldn't hang it out for the rain on the hard tires, because the rain just didn't come in time. It only came in the final few laps, and the hard tires really just could not last that long. But it was Mo Solver, though, who had the pace throughout, and he had that race under control in the second half. After the pit stops, it was job done for him. Seb Goncalves lost his head, and was losing pace to Mo Silva. He couldn't match the pace, and maybe that is why he just got frustrated in the end and chucked his towel in. But that race will have huge changes on the championship because Mo Silva picks up the victory, and all of his rivals then have suffered big points loss. It looks as though the results are not going to come up on my screen, so if someone's able to screenshot them from 1st to 20th, that would be much appreciated. But, wow. Where do we go next from that one? If Mo Silva wins next time out in Austria, he'll be setting that record outright, and he'll be on his way to another World Championship, surely, Ewan.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's seemingly pretty inevitable, and he's taking the inevitable role from D from seasons ago. So, yeah, he's looking superb at the moment and just driving extremely well. Keeping us cool, keeping us calm, not speeding the pit lane like others, and yeah, just doing what he needs to do with the pace he has. It's superb from him. And there's so many superlatives to say. But yeah, he's doing a great job with the pace he has.
Yeah, Mo Silva then at the minute is the class of the field. Just when you thought watching that race tonight with Seb Goncalves on pole and all the others getting in the mix there, it was just about to get a bit too difficult for Mo Silva. He picked them off at the start of that race and was on his way to victory. That's your lot then from Silverstone. What a thrilling race that was, and what a set of races it was all evening. We'll be back though next Monday for the Austrian Grand Prix. Austria returns to the calendar after a season or two away, and we can be absolutely sure there'll be plenty of battles throughout that one. Thank you, Ewan, for joining me in the commentary box once again.
My
And
pleasure.
I've been CJH, he's been Ewan, and we'll see you in the next one. And that's a wrap. Oh,
Alrighty.
wow. That was a shame with Seb, I have to say, because he did lose his head a bit there. I know. It was just like, I get it, but it's also, yeah, I just feel like when people do that and just retire in that way, it's a little bit silly. Because at the end of the day, it's like, even if he finished second, it was weird. He was like weaving around and everything. I didn't quite understand what was going on. So, but, oh well. But, fair play to Mo. Right, I'll just turn this